Good evening and welcome to this abridged edition of Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Ronke Kolawole. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is partnering with anti-graft agencies in the country to curb corruption in the nation's electoral process. This resonated at a visit by Oyo State INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner to the various agencies in the state. Lukman Hassan reports.
In view of the corruption in the nation's political space, INEC says this has necessitated its seeking for partnership with relevant agencies to stop the act, the introduction of money freely in the process and conduct of election by politicians. INEC says has far-reaching consequences and is against the Electoral Act.
There is need for us to establish consistent synergy. We cannot exist in isolation.
The two anti-graft agencies promised to support INEC in conducting free and fair elections.
We will do our part. What we are passionate about here is the monetization of the political process, and we are the agency that is saddled with the responsibility of investigating and prosecution of money laundering.
Corruption is not only financial. Corruption could be otherwise. When you favor one person against another person.
The agencies called on members of the public to always report any suspicious transactions and relevant information to them. In Ibadan, Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
In the meantime, the All Progressives Congress APC says a vote for the party will not only guarantee a bright future for Nigeria, but also bring more dividends of democracy to the people. This was in a message by the former Deputy Governor of Plateau State, Pauline Talon, at a rally organized by the Coalition of National Keke Napep Riders Association of Nigeria for the endorsement of Buhari Osinbajo Project 4+4 in Abuja.
The Okada riders to give Mr. President and his vice the support to continue. And these are the people that if they are with you, you can go to sleep. They have decided to give their total support to President Muhammadu Buhari for his second tenure.
Buhari Osinbajo team is to see that at the end of the day, most of you will be employed and have something very important to do for the future.
The group further promised to mobilize its members to support the president and ensure that he retains the seat to consolidate the APC next level agenda for better Nigeria. Nigerians, especially civil servants, have been urged to continually support the Buhari administration in its quest to make life better for all citizens. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyoita, gave the advice when she delivered 124 houses to beneficiaries of the Federal Integrated Staff Housing Program, FISH. Adebola Brixton Sunday has that report.
One of the cardinal policies of the present administration is the provision of affordable housing for Nigerians, of which the FISH program is one of the tools. The presentation of the handbook and websites is to further guide developers, off-takers and implementers to ensure affordability.
Our beloved civil servants, for whose welfare the program exists, we congratulate and appreciate you all for believing in the FISH program.
Is in fulfillment of the mandate of the board, as the two estates being commissioned are fully funded through the Federal Government Staff Housing Loans Board.
This program has come to stay, and it's a reality.
Mrs. Oyoita and other partners were conducted on a guided tour of the two estates in Kuje.
We've got tremendous support from Mr. President because he has always given us the opportunity to prove what we can do. And we thank God for him.
Whichever way you can be of assistance, which way you can be of value, you must add to their value to them.
Another good news is that most of the beneficiaries have already moved into their apartments, What a way to end the year, they said.
The Federal Integrated Staff Scheme, in fact, is a wonderful scheme from the federal government, especially from the Buhari administration.
The FISH program is designed to help workers increase their productivity and contribute more to national development. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
For more reports on Nationwide, let's join Jennifer in Lagos. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Ronke, and welcome to Lagos. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has announced the date for the commencement of sales of 2019 Universal Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. The registrar of the board, Professor Ishak Oloyede, who disclosed this in Lagos, also announced that cyber cafe operators have been banned from selling forms. Jane Ojuku reports.
The JAMB registrar, Professor Ishak Oloyede, hinted that JAMB has concluded all processes for the 2019 UTME, adding that the sale of forms will begin on the 10th of January and end 6 weeks after. He warned candidates not to patronize cyber cafes for their registration, as the board has banned them from carrying out JAMB registration or examination proper.
They were extorting candidates, they were overcharging the candidates, they were doing services that they do not have capacity to do. They keep on telling the candidate that they are extorted, and we have no way of tracking them because they were not registered. And that's why we have said, we know there will be uproar, because they make a lot of illegitimate money from these services. But we cannot leave the students at their mercy. CBT Center, 715 of them have been registered across the country. If you want to do any of the major services, you want to receive any of our major services, choose any of the CBT Center.
Professor Oloyede further cleared the air on possible conflicts of exam schedule and election dates.
Election does not affect sale of form, and we have adjusted our examination to cover, to make room for all the schedule. We thank INEC for giving us earlier notice.
Meanwhile, JAMB has established centers for blind candidates, while plans have reached advanced stage to create special centers to accommodate deaf candidates. The board reaffirmed its commitment towards protecting the integrity of its exams, while noting that it will continue to adopt innovative measures to deliver on its mandate. In Lagos, Jane Ojuku, NTA News.
That's the news from Lagos at this hour. It's time to join Sadia Umadinge in our Sokoto Network Center for more.
The many literary works of the founders of Sokoto Caliphate have been among the major challenges of the Center for Intellectual Services in the Caliphate literature. This came to the fore at the media briefing by the officials of the center held in Sokoto. The latter Abdullahi has the report.
Responsibilities of the Center for Intellectual Services on the Sokoto Caliphate literature, established 15 years ago, have been to identify the scholarly literature left by the founders of the Caliphate. The center engaged in the translation of such Arabic literature in Hausa and English languages, publish and distribute to further facilitate the dissemination and understanding of the literature by the Muslim generations. To date, the center has, through the support of the Sultanate Council, Sokoto State Government and other philanthropists, translated and published 23 literary works of the founders of the Caliphate. 5 manuscripts of other scholarly works have been compiled by the center, ready for publishing, but halted by financial constraints. However, access to numerous literature of the founders of Sokoto Caliphate have continued to be a great challenge to the officials of the Center for Intellectual Services, as they remain in the custody of individuals who are difficult to be identified. The center also organizes workshops and quiz competitions on the works of the jihadist leaders among secondary and Islamia schools to further educate the public.
We are just trying to organize a seminar to explain to our people how the Alfodio take these measures to address the importance of this girls' education.
Chairman of the organizing committee, District Head of Godabawa, Muhammad Lawal Zayan, said arrangements are on by the center to present another book on the 30th of December 2018 titled Qawaid wa Nasr al-Fawaid li Ahl al-Maqasid, written by Sheikh Abdullahi Fodio. In Sakwato, Dalat Abdullahi, NTA News.
Medical and health personnel have been challenged to be more responsive to their official duty with a view to be coming out with accurate data for future references. This was the view of speakers at the clinical presentation at the Specialist Hospital Sokoto, which focused on the maternal mortality and near-miss data 2018 by Dr. Nasir Abdullahi Gada. Muhammad Nasir witnessed the presentation and has the details.
Statistics by the World Health Organization indicate that approximately every day 830 women die globally from preventable causes related to pregnancy and childbirth, and 99% of such deaths occur in developing countries. Nigeria is rated second country in the world bearing the burden of maternal mortality, and greater percentage come from the north. Head of Obstetric and Gynecology Department, Specialist Hospital Sokoto, Dr. Nasir Abdullahi Gada, describes the rate of maternal mortality as the indicator of quality or otherwise of the healthcare service delivery of every state or country. He advocated for community mobilization and involvement, capacity building for health personnel, reorganization of general hospitals to function optimally, provision of modern assisted delivery apparatus, and recruitment of more doctors and nurses, among others, in order to reduce maternal mortality rate. The clinical presentation was forum for participants like State Commissioner of Health Dr. Muhammad Ali Ennami, who spoke on Sokoto State Health Statistic Policy as the baseline for accurate data for all government services.
The distribution of doctors and what is happening in general hospitals, we have been discussing with the ED that we need to do a lot of training for those PMOs in general hospital. Because there is a lot of issues, managerial issues, referral issues, and so many things coming up.
The clinical presentation by the hospital also provides opportunity to know services rendered, problems encountered, and possible solutions that could be used to encourage government and other stakeholders to rise up to ensuring quality healthcare service delivery. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
That's our contribution from this end. It's now back to Abuja with Ronke.
Thank you, Sadia. And it's on that note we end Nationwide for this beautiful Friday. On behalf of the management and staff of the NTA, I wish you